So the Redmi K20 Pro has finally been launched in India. It's here. We've got the pricing. I've spent weeks with it as my primary. So what's the verdict? Let's find out. If this is your first time here, or if that long launch event has you annoyed enough not to remember, my name's Ash, you're watching C4 eTech. So this is the Redmi K20 Pro, the flame red variant. It looks hot and it's got quite a few things going for it. Redmi calls this the Aura Prime design. It's got a holographic look to the back and looks really good reflecting light. Something unique. Redmi has also confirmed that they are indeed using Gorilla Glass 5 for protection to both the front and back, and despite going all glass and metal, it's not compromising on the battery capacity and the weight's kept at a manageable 190-ish grams. So in hand, there's not really much to complain about. All the cons of a glass build of course exist, but the K20 Pro feels fine, better than fine. It also manages to stand out doing so. Now if you like something stealthier, the carbon black variant might do it for you. Again, it's worth mentioning that the K20 Pro comes with a P2i coating on it, so you should be good if you have to attend a couple of calls in the rain or something. Now before we move on, if you've been liking what you've been seeing so far, please do consider turning on notifications by hitting that bell icon. Now to the front, we've got an all-screen 6.39-inch AMOLED panel. This is also covered by Corning's Gorilla Glass 5. Redmi is calling this a Horizon AMOLED panel now. This is a marketing term. Now that apart, this is an excellent Full HD Plus display. There are small tiny bezels around it. They're almost unnoticeable. There are no interruptions, no notches, no cutouts. It's an AMOLED panel. The colors are punchy. The contrast is infinite. And the K20 Pro sold in India, it has Widevine L1 certification. At the moment, we are able to stream HD content with Netflix, but not Amazon Prime. I expect that to change soon though. Now, under this display, there is a 7th generation in-display fingerprint scanner. Throughout my couple of weeks with both phones, the Chinese and Indian variants, I didn't face any issues with it at all. Works as advertised. There is face unlock too, but since Redmi had to go with a pop-up camera to make this all-screen design work, you need to swipe up on the display for face unlock, and it is kinda slow, so I didn't use that a lot. Now talking about the pop-up camera, Redmi claims this is covered by sapphire glass, so if some dust were to get in there, it shouldn't be able to scratch the glass as it pops in and out of the phone, and in my time with it, I didn't find any scratches. Now, what is unique to the K20 Pro's pop-up camera are these LEDs. They look really cool and also serve as a notification LED of sorts. And unlike say OnePlus, Redmi has not cut out the headphone jack to accommodate that pop-up camera. The headphone jack is present here and it works well thanks to the included Hi-Fi DAC. Well, on the subject of audio, the earpiece does not double as a speaker, but the sound output via the single downwards firing speaker was louder than on the Poco F1, and given stereo was not really great on that phone, I didn't really miss it here on the K20 Pro, the Poco F1's spiritual successor. What Redmi has cut out though is NFC and microSD. Well, NFC might be forgivable for a lot of people, at least here in India. MicroSD is something we usually find on Redmi phones, at least in the form of a hybrid slot. So to lose that is most definitely a con. But to counter it, Redmi's base variant comes with 128 gigs of storage here. Now, talking about the internals, the chip here, it is the Snapdragon 855, Qualcomm's flagship chipset. Redmi claims they've got 8-layer graphite cooling to make sure they get the best out of this chip and keep performance better than the competition. But in our testing, the 8-layer custom cooling didn't really make much of a difference when it came to extending peak performance. But that said, the 855 on the K20 Pro does run cool. I never faced any kind of heating issues here. There was rarely any stutter or lag either. We have MIUI 10 on top of Android 9. That's what the K20 Pro runs on, and it does run it very smoothly. It was a nice little surprise to see the Indian K20 Pro come with Poco Launcher 2.0. That's what it has by default. It gives the K20 Pro an app drawer. And with the dark mode on, everything on this AMOLED screen looked really attractive. It's not just the looks, whether I was scrolling through a Twitter feed, loading back-to-back pictures up on Instagram, browsing through websites, whatever it is that I did, the K20 Pro managed to do it with ease. Even when pushed, Like with multitasking or say intense gaming, the K20 Pro didn't break a sweat. PUBG, Fortnite, whatever game I threw at it, the experience was excellent. Talking about gaming, some people were worried about multi-touch issues with this display. Guys, it is not a big deal. This jitter, it exists on all phones with AMOLED panels, and you will never notice it when you hold the phone in hand to game. I never once noticed it in my weeks with the K20 Pro. Now, for a more in-depth explanation, do check out this video. It's not a big deal at all. That's all you need to know about it. So back to the gameplay. With the K20 Pro, it's not just about how good it is to play on it, but it is also about how long you can play on it, because the battery life, it's one more area Redmi's got covered. There is a 4000 mAh battery here, and Redmi, they claim 2-day battery life, and like all manufacturer claims, it is a bit bloated. 1-day battery life even with heavy usage, now that's definitely real. No matter what you do, the combination of that large 4000 mAh battery, the AMOLED panel, the 7nm Snapdragon 855 and that power efficient MIUI 10, they ensure that K20 Pro, it keeps going on. And if you do run out of juice, it ships with an 18-watt charger in the box, which can charge it from about 0 to 50 in a little over 30 minutes. But if you want something faster, it also has support for 27-watt sonic charging, which is basically Redmi's fancy name for Quick Charge 4 Plus. So unlike with say Oppo or OnePlus, Redmi have not actually done any circuitry work here. I mean, that's not an issue. In fact, I personally prefer Qualcomm solutions since there are a lot more accessories available for them, like power banks and so on. I'm just letting you guys know. Anyway, for 1000 rupees more, you can buy a 27-watt charger, so you can charge this phone back up quick. But the charger itself is overpriced in India though. The Redmi guys were so happy to point out on stage that they didn't want to price their phones higher in India. But as far as the charger goes, it costs only 500 rupees in China, so it's priced 2x higher in India. It is also worth noting that when you buy the phone in China as a bundle, the 27-watt charger gets offered for just 200 rupees. So in a way, they've priced it 5 times higher in India. Now, this is a pet peeve of mine. Don't let that take the focus away from the K20 Pro. This is an excellent phone. And if you aren't sold on it yet based on whatever you've seen already, the K20 Pro has another trick or 3 up its sleeve. The cameras. The primary sensor is the Sony IMX586. What else could it be, right? It's the 48 megapixel sensor that we've been seeing on almost every other phone priced above 15,000 rupees these days. So we know pretty much how this one's gonna go. This is paired with the f1.75 lens and the images are pretty great. Saturation is a little up at times, but that's not too bad. There's good detail, dynamic range is nice too. Under low light, the K20 Pro struggles a bit. The lack of optical image stabilization hurts it here. The night mode option helps sharpen the image, clean it up, but it is a little subtle. The improvement is good enough though given the price. The secondary 8 megapixel f2.4, it is a 2x optical zoom option, and the next one, the 13 megapixel f2.4, that is the wide angle option. While these two sensors don't grab as much detail as the primary, they still produce crisp images that are on point with regards to colors for the most part. So these do give you fresh options on how you can shoot your pictures, so definitely pros. Talking about pros, an additional pro with the K20 Pro, no pun intended, is that Redmi lets you shoot video with all 3 sensors unlike some of the competition. Let's close in on that primary video now. The max resolution is 4K 60 FPS. The quality of the footage is good. The lack of stabilization at this resolution again hurts, but at 4K 30 FPS there is EIS and the footage itself is quite good. The 20 megapixel f2.2 selfie camera comes with a wide field of view, and I feel the skin tones here could use a bit of work. And now finally, let's talk pricing, and here's where Redmi's gone ahead and done something a little weird. The K20 Pro is available in 4 options: 664, 6128, 8128 and 8256. But Redmi's decided just to launch only 2 of these in India: 6128 at 28,000 rupees and the 8256 at 31,000 rupees. Now, we all expected the K20 Pro's price to be higher than that of the Poco F1. Let's be honest, because the K20 Pro, They've pumped up the quality on this phone, the build, the materials. They've bumped it up, so nobody expected this phone to be priced as low as the Poco F1. But a lot of us did expect the 664 at 2526, something around that, and are a little bit disappointed by this. But the base variant not being sold is not that big a negative, because even if Redmi decided to launch that 664 base variant at 28K, given the Chinese price is 25, they've brought it to India at 28, a 3K bump up from the Chinese price, that wouldn't be a huge deal breaker. It would still be a good deal at that price enough, given that Redmi have actually launched the 6128 at that price. I don't think we can really complain about that. At least I can't really complain about that. I feel as far as the value goes, it's still exceptional value as long as you can live with the ad situation, as long as you're okay with that ad situation, because yes, we do have an ad situation. That is why this is called a Redmi K20 Pro and not something like a Poco F2. So as long as you're okay dealing with that ad situation and the availability issues associated with Redmi phones, the K20 Pro is an excellent flagship phone that's priced much lower than the competition. It's the best bang for your buck 855 out there today. I would call it a must buy. So there you have it, my 2 cents on the Redmi K20 Pro. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And now you know the rest. Thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you feel. Subscribe, turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon if you can. Please do that. That's it for now. Thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4 Retech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.